Hello, my name is Jackson and today we're gonna learn about how to do a remote connection and test a remote logon through SM59. Here you can choose the transaction SM59. The transaction SM59 is used for configuration of remote function call connections with other systems or also the SAP connections. For example, with quality systems, with production systems, because you need to have the connection between the systems for the transport management, to check some configuration, to check some table. So you need to have all the systems configured, and also you can have external systems. You can have e-commerce systems for the procurement team, financial accounting systems. Also you can have electronic invoice sent for your government. So you need to have all the configurations and all the systems connected to a remote function call. In this case, usually it's a BOPper or basis consultant that create these connections, but it can be also a functional consultant, but it's not usual. But at least the functional consultant needs to know how to do a remote logon if it is necessary by some reason, and also how to test a connection. So here we open the tree and we can see a lot of connection with other systems. So imagine that one of these systems, it's our production, okay? Of course, in this sandbox environment, I don't have production connected, but in your case, you must have a production. And for example, you want from the quality environment access your production environment. You can click in remote logon, and this would open a pop-up to fulfill your password and your login, user ID, etc., like the SAP Logon usual screen. And the other important function here is the connection test. So imagine that you have external systems, e-commerce, and the system receives some PO and exchange some purchase orders every day with SAP, and the users they are complaining that they are not getting these purchase orders from the systems, or the SAP is not sending correctly. One thing that you need to check is the connection. If the connection is still working, if you have any errors. So it's very simple. You need to know, of course, which is the connection here, which is the system name. So if you know, it's much easier. If you don't know, maybe you're gonna need to check the documentation or ask your BOPper, of course. But imagine that it's one of these systems. So you can click here, SRM, and connection test. This usually it's quick. In this case, it's taking a time. So here we can see that we have an error of connection. So we can check the error details, the component, the counter, the model, return code. With all this information, you can analyze what's the reason the system connection is not working. Sometimes your provider of these external systems changed some information and didn't communication for your team to change the connection configuration, the settings here. So he changed some hosts, he changed some proxy, he changed the IP address, anything that he can be changed and impacted the communication between the systems. So all the communication change, all the connection change need to be synchronized and aligned between the systems. So it's very important that if they change anything, they need to communicate the SAP team to configure properly this transaction. Therefore, if you like this video, please subscribe our channel and stay tuned for the next quick tips. Thank you and see you next time.